Alright, what's going on YouTube? I'm Ball5. You probably should already know that. Coming at you with a relatively close battle. This battle was pretty close, actually. I haven't actually done anything related to NU on this channel in quite some time, but this is this replay because it was a decent battle. This guy's leading off with his Swallow. I'm leading off with Garbage or Silver's Monument. You already know. He actually goes right into his Quagsire, and I missed the gunshot, which is pretty unfortunate because I had a Seed Bomb waiting for him that would have killed if I had hit that. I'm gonna go into Zartu here as he Earthquake. I actually thought he might Toxic, predicting the switch because the switch was rather obvious, but he just goes for Earthquake, so that's cool. Get the confusion with Signal Beam, not really gonna matter because he's not gonna hit himself anyway. And I'm just gonna go right into. I actually go into Gore so I went to Lantern here. I have no idea why it's not shiny here because it was shiny in Team Preview. I'm like 99% sure, but that's really not a big deal. As he is confused, he's gonna protect. So he scouts for my Leech Seed, which I do go for. He doesn't actually have a thing to come in on Leech Seed, so I probably could have stayed in here. I did predict the Swallow, so I went into Lantern. Yeah, I think that's what I was predicting, as he does go into Swallow. And I'm going to over-predict here, predict him to go into Quagsire and block my Volt Switch. So that's going to work out pretty not ideal for me. I'm thinking he's Specs, so Assault Vest Hariyama will take at least one, right? That still is 34%, which is pretty freaking insane. Like, if a Pokemon with, like, X-Cloud or Chatot, who already have respectable special attack stats, that would probably do a whole lot more, maybe even 2 at KO. But I mean, he's going for the Scald with his Pelipper. Didn't really have much for that. He's going to try to roost with Xatu as he most likely burns me here like I'm predicting. Yeah, he burns me. I'm not really remembering this battle too much. He's going to go for Scald. Not Scald, I'm going to go for Psyshock to get damage. And I'm going to predict the Roost here by going straight to Lantern. That's how I predict the Roost. Because this is what he goes for. Didn't want to U-turn in case he was Helmet, which I'm pretty sure he ends up being. But I don't remember. I'm going to Scald because the Quagsire switch was rather obvious. And, yeah, I'm just going to hit Power Grass, not even think about it. And now, this is the part where I go for perhaps the dopest Magic Bounce play you will ever see. I'm going to go right into my Xatu to sacrifice as he actually ends up going for the Sleep Powder, which bounces back, and I get off. I'm able to sack my Xatu, which is why I made the play in the first place. So yeah, that was pretty dope. As he's going to be asleep here because it's one of the first turns, so I can Volt Switch, break the Sash that he's holding, and then go out into what I think I went to Liepard. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And U-turn, just going to finish it off. As I go right back out in the Lantern. Because it's looking pretty powerful here. He goes into Girder. Most likely you're going to set up some bulk ups. I'm going to go right back into Silver's Monument, I believe. Yeah, that is the play I make. I'm more of like an offensive variant, so Gunk will probably still do a decent amount. It actually only does 31, which isn't too bad. And Knockoff does a lot. So I realize if I hit another Gunk I'll knock him into Aftermath range, but I just crit him anyway. So yeah, that works as well. And I don't actually have a switch into this Swallow, so I'm going to have to let this die to Boom Burst. I realize I can go into Hariyama pretty freely, right? But I just forget that he has a Pelipper chilling at full HP, and I think he is Helmet. Or I knocked him off. Or maybe he's no item. I don't ever think I actually knocked him off. So go out into Gourgeist here. It's not really doing anything at this point because Musharna can set up, and Swallow will kill it. So yeah, I think it's just gonna die here. He actually has Air Slash, which means I can go into the Lantern and get off the freest Volt Switch ever. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Volt Switch because that's an offensive Volt Switch and it's still, well, at least max special attack. Max special attack with leftovers. It still only did 24%. I wanted to Pursuit so hard, but I was just feeling that he would probably just have a Colbur Berry anyway, so I didn't really want to do that. I go into Hariyama completely derping on the fact that he had Air Slash because Air Slash is a bad move to use if you're Specs because you'd want to use like Boom Burst, Heat Wave, U-turn, and then like Tailwind or a hidden power or something. Not usually air slash, but that just means I can go right back out in the lantern. Ideally, he doesn't flinch me like he doesn't. So that works out pretty nicely. And I have a lantern. I can't kill Pelipper without lantern. I can't kill Musharna without light, but so I'm gonna have to play this extremely carefully if I want to come out on top. He actually ends up moonlighting. And I wanted to pursue it again, but I was fearing that he'd be Core Bear, which I actually tried to encore him in the moonlight. But I forgot that he could just switch as I'm gonna go back out in the lantern. He probably U-turned here. Yeah, he got me there. That was a pretty crisp U-turn play on his part. And if he has a baton past Musharna, he can continue to do this until the game's over, because I wasn't gonna feel like forfeiting anytime soon. So yeah, I go right back out in the Liepard. Probably didn't learn my lesson. Well, I don't think there was a lesson there. And I finally decided to click Pursuit, but he stays in and reveals the weakness policy. I'm like, oh crap, this better not be baton pass. This is baton pass, Pelipper literally wins. I'm pretty sure. But knockoff still is a decent amount with the Dread Plate. And yeah, just gonna keep going for it as he decides to moonlight. And then that's when I realize I can just encore him into Calm Mind, wear him down with knockoff. I think that's gonna be it. See, I'm just gonna encore him here. If he switches out in the Pelipper, that would be pretty good for him. I don't think I pursued like I should, but he's staying in, so I don't really know what's up there. I do know he's locked into this Calm Mind, and it probably suggests him switching, but he doesn't actually opt to do that at all. I can encore him again relatively freely here, even though he could have very easily gone to Pelipper, so I probably should have pursued it. He actually opts to go into Pelipper now. Then I realize, wait, he's too low of HP to survive a hit from Liepard. His Musharna's too low to survive a hit from this lantern, so I might as well just encore the Roost, which allows me to get a free U-turn out in the lantern. Yeah. If Encore and Pursuit wasn't such a godly combination, I wouldn't have been able to pull this off. But he actually ends up switching. I'm like, oh crap. And I don't want to be in an endless loop, so I'm just going to Pursuit here. I don't know what he tried to do. But I think Pursuit was part of the reason I was able to pull this through. The combination of the existence of Pursuit and Encore pretty much helped me. Now I can just sack Liepard because it's not going to beat this anyway, and then so I can get and ensure I get a fresh switch in the lantern, which is going to just finish the game with a Volt Switch. That was a pretty epic battle there, 51 turns, and yeah, I thought that was pretty great. So if I can find another battle content, I will. So yeah. Alright, so this next battle doesn't really have a reason to be here. I just thought it was relatively funny, so I decided why not throw it on. Same team from last time. This is a little fast, so I'm going to slow it down. So we have Garbodor, Miltank leads. Gungshot does a lot, but like, of course he's Citrus Berry. It's like the one person using that on the ladder, like. And of course he's Earthquake, Citrus Berry, Earthquake, Stealth Rock. That doesn't make any sense. That at least didn't to me. I don't realize I can just go out into my Halloween memes. Still have no idea why he's not shiny here, even though I was pretty sure he was shiny in Team Preview. He's gonna get off his milk drink, and I'm gonna see if he has Heal Bell by click on that. And if he goes for the Heal Bell, I can encore him into it with Liepard. So I'm gonna go into that next. But he just opts to Earthquake again. I'm just gonna U-turn back out into Halloween memes. Actually, I went into Harion because I can take a hit I can take if it's a clip because he's burned. And I'm just gonna close combat because if he goes into his resists, I can knock off. But he decides to stay in and try to heal, which doesn't end up working for him. I'm gonna end up predicting Psyshock here. Yeah, that's what I predicted. So I went into Halloween memes again. He's actually Pataya Berry, Special Attack Berry. I don't know why that set still exists. as he actually opts to go into his Haunter on the foul play. I'm like, he can't kill me with Shadow Ball, can he? I don't have a really great switch into it. Shadow Ball actually ends up not killing, which is actually really ideal. Goes into Muck, I'm like, okay, he's just gonna kill me with Shadow Sneak, and I can just let the battle continue. But he actually doesn't kill me. And I get off the Will-O-Wisp. So yeah, Muck is burned for the remainder of the match, which is pretty sweet, and Shadow Sneak, the next one, doesn't even kill me. I thought that was pretty great. As I'm able to synthesis, and he just gives up at this point, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the game. I thought that was kind of funny.